right. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the 2021 PGA Championship here at the Ocean Course, Kiowa Island, South Carolina. We are really happy to have Bryson DeChambeau, 2020 U.S. Open champion. Bryson, welcome to what is your fifth career PGA Championship. I guess you could kind of call this long course meets long hitter. But I'm curious, will this course require you, just because of its extreme length, longest in major championship history, you going to be hitting some different shots than you hit week to week on the tour or any other major championship courses?
Yeah, definitely. This golf course is a beast, and hopefully I can unleash the beast, but you never know. May hit it right or left, I don't know. But I'd say for the most part, you have to hit it pretty straight out here, even though you're hitting it pretty far. I'm hitting it pretty far, and I would say that there are holes that you just can't go after it. Number 4 is a great example. You know, hitting driver there, probably you could do it today because it's so into the wind, but for most guys, I watched players hitting hybrids and 3-woods in all day today, and that's not easy. I'm sure the tee boxes will be moved up in certain areas, but for most players out there, if you don't hit it long, it's going to be a tough week. You know, especially hitting hybrid or 3-wood or 4-iron into these greens that are so penalizing around the green complexes. So for me, my length is an advantage, but if I can hit it straight, you know, this week in this wind and control the golf ball, control the flight of it, that'll be my biggest advantage.
Absolutely. All right, let's hit the floor here for some questions, starting off at number 7, and then we'll go to number 4.
Bryson, what are some of the different questions that Kiowa asks of you compared to other courses that you've played?
Well, I've not had, let's say, hybrids or 4-irons into par 3s since I've gotten longer. That's a new one. And I think for other players, it's 3-woods and hybrids in for them. And it's demanding. You know, you got 14 straight into the wind, a little bit off the left, but, you know, it's 240 into the wind. And I watched Phil hit hybrid, and he hit a great shot. And then you got, you know, Kevin hitting 3-wood, and it's not easy. It's definitely a difficult task at hand, and I think that's what's so unique about this golf course is that when the wind picks up, it is probably one of the hardest golf courses I've ever played. And you can't miss it in certain areas either. Like, you can't bail out left or right. You just got to have your ball striking on the whole time. And if you don't, you're going to get penalized.
Ben, number 4.
You're known as a player who likes to make data-driven decisions, take variables and guesswork out of play, but playing in wind like this, there's always a certain amount of guesswork. So how comfortable are you guessing?
We try to make our best educated guess, but it doesn't always work out. You know, like, for example, today I hit a perfect shot with a 53-degree wedge at 10:30, and on the device it said it went the right distance, and then we looked up and it landed 5 yards past the flag and went over the green just because of wind and something we couldn't feel or control. It just gusted right at that moment. So a lot of it's going to be dependent on luck this week, I will say that. And when it's dependent on luck, you have to be patient. You have to say there's going to be good breaks, there's going to be bad breaks, but you have to be patient, wait for those opportunities to make birdies on the par 5s, on those short par 4s, and just hit it in the middle of the green this week. I mean, that's my ultimate goal is if I can hit as many greens as possible, I think I'll do okay.
Do you have any new or different strategies for taking any of that guesswork out of it in the wind?
Not that I've come up with yet. I mean, I wish if there was a way to figure out the wind and, man, you guys are going to eat this one up, but the laminar flow of the wind and how it works, you know, it's going to certainly, I mean, look, there are certain times where over certain dune hills and stuff on the greens and before the greens where the wind will flow down and up and over certain mountains. So it's going to make it feel weird, play different, and it's just going to affect how the ball goes. And even on the putting green, I'd say that's the most important thing is if you could putt on these greens knowing how the wind's going to affect your putt, man, you're way ahead of the game. And I mean, nobody's figured it out other than intuitively. You know, you're over the putt and you go, oh, more gust, and so you push it a little bit more or whatever to account for that.
Okay, let's Steve 10, please. Steve.
Just curious, what's the longest drive you've hit this week on the course?
Well, yesterday I had like a 160 yards into 7. So whatever that is.
What's the shortest drive you've hit with your driver?
I think it was on 15 15, I just pumped driver. It was like 187 ball speed, and I still had like even 18, I had 6 iron in. No, 15, I had 5 iron in. So I had driver like 270 into the wind. I mean, it's just blowing 30 miles an hour, and I hit it a little too high.
What's your comfort level on the greens?
On the greens this week, I mean, I'm okay. I'm like 75% there. Last week I was like 50%, so I'm a little bit better than where I was last week, but this week I'm probably 75%. Hopefully it gets a little better over the week. But the wind really affects putts. That's the tough part. You have a perfect aim, and then you hit it, and the wind gusts and moves it along. So you got to be willing to adapt really quickly out here. So
We're going to go to Luke on 8.
Bryson, what's up? I'm kind of curious if I could guarantee that you would lead like one statistical category on the PGA Tour for the next, say, 5 years. What category would that be?
Driving for sure.
How come?
I would say driving. As golf courses keep getting longer and they become more demanding on the PGA Tour, if you can put it in the fairway and be in the fairway all the time, having a massive advantage over everybody. I can work on the iron play and the wedging and putting. And putting's good enough to still win. Those are the 2 main categories that I would say. It's not always just one, because you could be great in driving and then terrible in putting and never win. So there's always about 2 categories you got to be really good at to win golf tournaments. And I think the most important ones are driving and putting, no doubt. Yeah.
Number 6.
Following up on the putting, you say you're 75% this week.
Confident.
Where were you going into the U.S. Open?
The U.S. Open, I was like 90, 95. So, yeah, it's just starting the ball in line. I'm not starting on line like I would like. Hopefully I can work that out today and be comfortable for tomorrow.
I keep hearing talk that you're throttling it back. What does that mean?
Well, it's just to control it a little bit better. And, you can't let it loose out here. There's certain golf courses, like last week, I kind of let it loose a little bit, but even at that, it was still trying to control ball flight. And I'm still trying to gain speed. It's not like I'm not. It's just I'm trying to find more efficient ways to do it. And sometimes when you lock things down or make your golf swing more consistent, it doesn't always produce more speed. And especially the driver I'm using right now, it's not fully maxed out with everything. And there are reasons for that, just so the head to keep the head a lot longer rather than having it break, every couple weeks.
Is this driver from the one you used at the Masters?
It's way different. I mean, it's 3 degrees more loft. It's different face design, different weight. But it's the driver that I've always, I drove it unbelievably well. Without distance, I was number 1 in driving in 2018, early 2018. And that was the best I'd ever driven in my entire life. And I just felt like I was on autopilot. And it was just this driver that worked really well. And then it unfortunately broke after hitting enough times. And, I had to go to another driver, and it wasn't the same after that. And so I've been searching for that setup ever since. And, it's tough to make it perfect. Nobody's found out how to do that. If a manufacturer found out how to make it perfectly, we'd all be using it.
What made you decide to throttle it back? Because you were talking crazy numbers.
Yeah, and I'm still want to get there eventually. A lot of it is I've reached a physical limitation that I don't know how to get past yet. Like, I'm getting stronger. I'm the strongest I've ever been, but it doesn't produce swing speed, which is really interesting. And so, how to increase swing speed like you're working out is something that nobody has really figured out. And, it takes years to get up to the long drive levels that the guys like Kyle Berkshire has and stuff like that. So maybe just be a timing thing. May also be, played a lot of golf, not gotten enough rest. And, when quarantine came about, I had time to physically transform everything. I took a couple weeks off of even playing golf or touching a golf club and just literally changed my body. And I don't have that time now. So.
Bryson, let's zoom out to Daniel. Daniel R., go ahead, sir.
Hey, Bryson. Yeah, the Saudi Golf League or the Super Golf League, whatever the name is, seems to kind of still be humming in the background. Just curious, what is your take on it? Whether you've had conversations or if you maybe see some benefits to it, like Phil Mickelson suggested.
Yeah, I don't know much. I've got a lot of people in the background working on it for, my agent, Brett. We're all dealing with that. And I think that at the end of the day, there's interesting concepts. But, that's all I really have to say about it. There's not much I can do personally. I'm out here just playing golf, trying to win a major championship. And, I think at the end of the day, it's people in the upper management that has to be taking care of that compared to me. I really can't do, unfortunately, much about it. I wish I had a bigger say in things, but I don't. I just play golf.
And a completely unrelated question. You've won multiple times since you've had this physical transformation. You've also missed some cuts. I'm curious, are you okay with the missed cuts if you win on your on weeks, or do you take pride in kind of the week-to-week consistency of grinding out a top 10 when you don't have it?
No, I love the grind of work, getting a top 10 when you're not all the way firing on all cylinders. And it's great to win, too, and I don't like missing cuts. So I would say on any front, you're trying to do your best every week, and when you miss cuts, it's never fun. But it's all about being consistent. How do you become more consistent with this transformed body, with this, new swing speed and everything? And there are times where I recognize I can swing it softer, and I have ball speeds that are way faster than everybody out here, and that's cool and comforting to have. But you still got to make putts, you still got to wedge it close and everything. And that's the difficulty is you can get all this distance, but it doesn't mean you're going to play better. And I find the grind and the passion and the perseverance going down a different road, unique road, pretty intriguing to me. And it just keeps me firing on all cylinders on my own end in my life.
3, Jeff.
Bryson, the pre-tournament drumbeat here is how difficult it is, right?
Yeah.
The longest course ever, the wind, everything.
Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't want to do it every week, but is part of you enjoy the challenge of such an extreme test?
Yeah, I would say a few weeks a year is okay. That's for sure. This is one of those weeks, and it's going to be somebody out here that wins that's the most patient. It may not be the person that's playing the best. I mean, there's certainly luck involved this week with the greens the way they are and the wind the way it is and, the slopes around the green. Sometimes you're just going to get unlucky. You hit a great shot and the wind dies and barely goes over the green. So, it's going to be somebody that has a lot of patience and a lot of resolve to fight back when things aren't going well for them.
So it's as much a mental test as it is anything physical this week.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say it's more of a mental test than a physical test because we all are great golfers and we know how to swing the golf club, but it's more about the mental fortitude that you have. And for some reason, I do pretty well in these types of environments, brings out the best in me. So hopefully it can this week. Yeah. Hopefully.
Nice.
We'll see.
Let's go Bob, number 9.
Bryson, Steve Stricker was up here earlier, and he said that he hoped that Tiger could be at the Ryder Cup as an assistant later in the year. I'm sure you're probably on board with that, but I'm just curious if you've spoken with Tiger at all. Has this subject come up?
Yeah, the Ryder Cup conversation hasn't come up, but I've just been talking to him as a friend and seeing how he's doing and, had a couple questions for him about what he's doing and how he's living life and his kids and dogs and whatnot. I just think that's where my relationship is with him, and I really care about his personal life more than his golf, because if his personal life is well, I think golf will follow. Personally to me, he's been the greatest influence in my life, and I tend to keep the friendship at a level that is looking out for him in all instances. So I hope he can definitely be a part of the Ryder Cup. It would be an honor to have him a part of that team, and hopefully he can.
Obviously, you'd see him as an asset there.
Yeah.
To the team. In what way?
100%. I mean, you look at the President's Cup and how influential he was at just keeping us on the straight and narrow path of saying, hey, we're okay. We can still do this. And we ultimately pulled it out. And I think that's what's so cool about the way Tiger works with things, that he says, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go out there and get the job done. No matter what cost, you just got to get the job done. And that's what's so amazing about what he was able to do. And I think it'll transfer over if he's a part of the team, is they'll have that kind of same spirit as he did at the President's Cup.
We're going to zoom out to Neil. Neil, go ahead, sir. You're with Bryson.
Hi, Bryson. A couple of things. What's been the reaction amongst your colleagues to your UFO interview? And do you revel in being thought of as a little bit out there in what's quite a conservative profession?
Oh, I mean, talking to Phil, it was definitely an interesting conversation. So Phil and I had some great comments on that. And when we started talking about interdimensional travel, he was like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. I don't know what really that means, but I think I know. He's been a lot of fun to talk to. And other guys really haven't brought up too much of that. But I love conversating about unique and different topics, not just the game of golf. I've got a lot of opinions and viewpoints on things outside of the game, and Eventually that will become more public, but for the most part, talking about aliens is kind of cool. I don't know. I think it's interesting and different from the game. We talk about this game so much, it's kind of nice to be able to talk about something different. But yeah, being different, I'm used to it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go to number 7, please.
Sorry, I have another golf question.
Oh, dang it. I'm just kidding.
Since your transformation, what's the windiest conditions that you've played in, and what are some of the challenges that you face, unique challenges that you face because of the ball flight and how high you hit it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the launch conditions when you're hitting it 150, 160, 170 feet in the air are not great, and into the wind conditions like this, it's not going to go anywhere. So I would say this week is up there for sure. Last week there was a couple moments where it got pretty windy, but this week is going to be probably the most wind we've had since I've been, backwards since I've transformed myself, and that I can remember at least. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but this is, in regards to the golf course and the wind, this is the most difficult test that I've been on since transforming my body. I don't know if that answered your question at all, but yeah, I mean, sorry, I don't know.
Okay, 2 or 3 more. Let's start zooming out with Paolo. Go ahead, sir. You're with Bryson.
Hi, I am Bryson. Talking again about the Ryder Cup. Compared to what happened in Paris, it looks like you from the US are getting stronger this time. Are you talking with your colleagues about this, and also about the European guy situation, like Francesco Molinari was the leading scorer. He's not performing very well now. So do you feel you are the favorite this time?
I don't know how to really answer that. You never know who's going to be the favorite in the Ryder Cup. I mean, there's a lot of emotions that are at play that allow certain teams to do really well, and hopefully being over at Whistling Straits, it'll be a little different for us this year with the support behind us, and it's going to be difficult for travel and all that. I really have no idea what's going to go on. I know that personally for me, I'm going to probably be a little more vocal than last year, and who I'd want to be with and who I'd want to play with, what games fit my style of play. Last time I played, I was more, starstruck. I was like, whoa, this is the Ryder Cup, and, I'll just do everything that everybody says, and I feel like I'm a little more experienced now, and my game is a little different, and I feel like I could fit certain types of games a little bit better than previous years. So as time goes on, I think the U.S. team's getting stronger and stronger, and we're getting more comfortable with each other. We had so many young players last time that we didn't really know what to say or do, and hopefully it'll be a lot different this year.
One more zoom out here is Jay. Jay, go ahead, sir. Jay, you might be muted. Are you there, Jay?
Hi, Bryson. Before he passed away, Pete Dye told me that he thought par on the Ocean course was 68 because he felt that under optimum conditions that the very best players could birdie all the par fives. He came close to that when Rory won in 2012. Do you feel that par is essentially 68 under optimum conditions or even lower?
Under optimum conditions, I mean, with no wind, I mean, that really worked out well for me at Augusta. So, no, I'm just messing. Look, you could say it's par 58, you could say it's par 59, or 78, or 80. It really, honestly, depends on the day and the conditions. If it's under optimum conditions and we're playing our best golf, you could totally say that. I would say also that the wind's up, the par could be 76. So that's my answer to that. I don't know how else to explain that.
Number 11.
Just wanted to follow up about the Super League question. You've talked about the inherent individualism that comes with being a professional golfer, right? So just curious, how do you balance, what would potentially be best for you or a massive opportunity for you versus entertaining, a controversial idea or things like that?
Well, I mean, this is like an hour conversation probably, but from my perspective, I'm not trying to make anybody mad. I'm not trying to make anybody side on one side. From my perspective, I want the best for the players and for the fans, and whatever players do in regards to this tour or whatnot is going to just make my decision. I will never commit to anything. From my perspective, it's about the players, looking at it in a different way. And if they want to do that, then okay. If the players go, then probably follow suit. But at this point in time, it just doesn't seem like there's enough players. And at that statement, I would say that is probably more. I don't know. I don't know. It's such a weird conversation. I think the players in such a weird position because it's like we're just trying to do what's best for the game of golf and for the fans. I mean, we want to give the fans an amazing experience. And are the players taken care of to the fullest extent, all the way from the 200th to the top player in the world? I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a conversation that all players have to have in order to make this work. But from a Super League perspective, this is stuff that's got to be dealt with in the upper management. I don't know. I mean, I'm just a player trying to play golf. I don't really have a great answer for it. My agent's been telling me about it, but it's like, don't want to ruffle any feathers. We just want to go play golf and I would say give the fans the best experience they could possibly have. And if it's with the, if it's with the Super League, then it's with the Super League. But I will never do anything first. I will never be anybody that goes first in something like that. It's got to be the tour coming together and saying this is better for the fan experience and whatnot. But it's definitely, the tour's given me an amazing opportunity, PGA Tour, and there's a relationship there that I don't want to hurt. There's a relationship there that I have with USGA, the PGA, Augusta, and the British Open that we don't want to hurt. And it's a very difficult, weird situation I think the players are in, and hopefully it can all be resolved so we can just get past it and play golf and I would say enjoy giving the fans the best entertainment possible.
About it being a weird, as you say, as being a distraction at all for guys or anything?
It's a complete distraction. I would say from my perspective, I'd want to know what way to go and just let's go. Whatever it is, whatever is best for the players and for the fans is what I would support. Again, I don't know all the details. I don't know everything. This is me just speaking from an outside perspective that, whatever the tour wants to do, whatever the players want to do, I'm behind the players with whatever they want to do. Because as a collective group, I think we do have a good understanding of what the fans do want. And, there's going to come a point in time where they'll all talk about it, but I'm not there yet. I don't even know. So,
Bryson DeChambeau, thank you for finding us, and please enjoy your week here and come back and visit.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.